I'm willing to make a wager that 9 out of 10 people who click on this video has at least one broken chain or a lost earring or the partner of a lost earring in their dresser that they don't know what to do with. Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you at least one option to remedy that problem. If you are one of those 9 out of 10 people who has broken jewelry in their dresser, stick around. You might find this video useful. Let's get into it. So it started off with a customer bringing in one broken earring, or one partner of a lost earring. That makes sense? Yeah, hope so. And a ring she doesn't like it or doesn't wear anymore. Not sure if she inherited the ring or what the case was behind the ring, but the ring was added. And the earring, the main focus on this project was the earring. So the earring has got a opal in it. Well, technically a blue doublet. I'll put a description up right there of what a doublet is. You may pause the video and look at it. So essentially what it is a slither of opal stuck on a onyx and with clear resin coating over it to make it appear like a natural opal. But that doesn't matter. The ring or the earring had sentimental value to it. So the objective was to convert this earring into a ring. And today's video is all focused on how I did that. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The first thing we need to do is unset the stones. I use my flat graver to unset the diamonds. Once that is done, I move on to the opal. The opal is a little bit trickier than the diamonds, because if you notice and if you look closely, there's a lot of fracture lines in the opal. So there's a higher risk of it actually shattering when I try to unset it. Now, this stone wasn't set in to begin with. It was actually glued in. Now, initially I did try and heat the earring up to loosen the glue, or to break down the glue at least, but that didn't work at all. And I ran the risk of actually burning the opal. So plan B was to actually cut the bezel of the opal and then remove it that way, which was also a little bit nerve-wracking because using a saw blade next to a fractured opal or doublet, it is intense, believe you me. But it turned out okay, and opal was safe and everyone was happy. So now that I have all the stones unset, it was time to melt down the metal. So this is the earring and the ring that the client supplied was 9-carat yellow gold. So, well, to be fair, actually the earring is 14-carat, but it was just the head of the earring, and we quoted the customer to, well, obviously we keep the head of the earring and we'll supply 9-carat yellow gold to make the rest of the ring. And you'll notice later in the video there's a little bezel that I'm going to add at the bottom of the earring to accommodate the curve of the ring, and that was also 9-carat. So next step is melt the metal down and see what it looks like. Well, we'll know what it look like because it's my metal. It's all new gold, so it's not a problem at all. I don't know why I said that. So now we have our metal melted down into a bar, and you'll notice I made it into quite a wide bar because I need quite a wide band to accommodate the setting of the earring, because you want that similar sort of width flowing throughout the whole ring, starting out from the width of the earring, tapering down to the bottom of the ring, so it's nice and comfortable at the base of your finger, because no one wants a wide clunky ring at the base of the finger, otherwise it struggles to bend and it gets uncomfortable and annoying. So we roll out the metal, mostly just on the flat side of the roller. So I've rolled the metal down to, I think it was 1.3 millimeter thick, because you don't need it very thick, you just want it a nice comfortable thickness. If you make it too thick, it gets too heavy and it gets too expensive to have it done. So 1.3 millimeter throughout was a nice comfortable thickness. The ring still looked nice and sturdy, and it didn't look flimsy at all. So what I'm doing here is actually drawing out the, I want to say, the shape of the ring on a piece of paper, because then I will take that piece of paper, glue that onto the metal, and I use that as a template for my ring. Make sense? I think it's fairly straightforward. Lovely footage of me cutting out the template of the ring, and once that is done, we'll move ahead, bend it round, get the joint soldered, and knock the ring into shape. So it had to be a size 0.5 if I remember correctly, so we did that, got that nice and tapped round. So while the ring is resting in acid after soldering, I will move on to actually make a little bezel, not bezel, it's a little, basically it's a little base ring that I add onto the earring to accommodate the curvature of the ring, because the earring had a flat back, and if I had to place that earring straight onto the ring, you'll have these like wingtip sections sticking out on the sides of the ring, and that would have looked horrible. So I decided to roll out a piece of square wire at about, I think it was 1.5 millimeter thick, because we only needed a little section to drop the edges down to follow the curvature of the ring. So I did that, rolled out square wire, bend it oval, and soldered that at the base of the earring. So once that was done, I placed the earring in the acid, grabbed the ring out again, tapped it round, make sure everything is nice, and then obviously I had to just shape the ring a bit, because we can't just leave it all flat and bland. Give it a bit of shape, a bit of a half round on the band, and make sure it looked good, because we wanted to look like it was always meant to be a ring. We don't want it to look like it was an earring that was stuck onto a ring, and that's the main aim. You want it to look natural, you want it to look elegant, you want it to look good. So you may notice, well, I'll actually show it to you in the video, that I've rolled the band not all the way the same thickness. I've left the center bit and roughly about 15 millimeters down the middle of the gold, a little bit thicker than the rest of the ring. And the reason behind that is, when I bend it, you want the ring to flow nicely and look good. The profile should look good from the side view, and you want that section on the center or the head of the ring slightly raised compared to the rest of the ring. And that's quite important, for the fact that if you don't do that, it will look like someone did it out of their garage. Hence the fact I made it thicker, thinner, because I don't want people to know that I'm making the rings out of my garage. So stop judging me. All joking aside, it's good practice to always make your rings thicker at the top and thinner at the bottom, because that is aesthetically pleasing. If you look at the ring, it needs to flow, the shape needs to flow, and that helps with the character of the ring and the style of the ring. It's very important Stop making, all the jewelers out there, stop making your bands the same thickness all the way around. It looks terrible. Stop doing it. So now that we have the ring at the correct size, it's shaped nicely, it's sanded, and we've got the top sorted with the little under bezel soldered and shaped. I filed a little curve into it so it fits perfectly onto the ring. It's time to solder the head onto the ring. And what I do in a case like this is I would place the head onto the ring, make sure it's center where I need it to be, tack it with a little bit of solder in order to check it after I've tacked it, because it's easier to adjust with just a bit of tack solder and move it after the fact than soldering the whole thing and then realizing you've gone squiff. Now, I didn't show this, I didn't record this section because I felt a little bit silly because I had it mounted off center. Luckily, I only tacked it with a bit of solder, so I was able to shift it 0.5 millimeter over to the left, got it centered, then I was able to solder the whole head. I might also add, if you're a jeweler and you're watching this, try not to flood the whole head with solder. I know it's easy to flood the whole thing and then just file everything away afterwards, but you'll end up with solder blemishes on the actual band, and you want to try and avoid that, because what will happen down the line is when the ring starts to oxidize, your solder will oxidize a different color to the actual gold, and it'll start to show up, and then the customer would probably go to another jeweler and ask them, why is her ring discoloring in such a strange fashion? And they will tell her that the jeweler who made your ring didn't know what he was doing. So stop flooding your rings with solder. Use a little bit. You can always add extra solder. It's tricky to take it away. Yes, it is possible, but it's so much extra work. It's much easier to just add a little bit of solder at a time and until you have enough. So don't flood your rings with solder. That's a personal request from me, the Chunky Jeweler. So after allowing the ring to rest in the acid for about 10-20 minutes, I took it out, cleaned it off, and now it's time to clean up. So the ring is obviously discolored because of the heat that was applied to it in the soldering process. So end up sanding it, shaping it, a little bit of excess solder that needs to be taken away. Not excess, but just need to clean up. And once that is all cleaned up and shaped and sanded, give it a quick polish. And with regards to the polishing, you don't need to polish it to a high gloss at this point, because we still need to set the stones. And in the setting process, you're bound to gain a few extra scratches and marks on the ring. So it's always good practice. Give it just a light buff. Make sure the worst of the worst scratches are removed, because you don't want to have to overly sand the ring once the stones are in place. And just a note for the future, the diamonds are fine to set before final polish, but definitely do your final polish and sanding before you set the opal, whether it's in this case a doublet or a natural opal, because the risk of scratching it is huge. Opals are very soft stones and scratches very easily. So just a top tip, don't try and set the opal and then do your final polish. Do your final polish and then set the opal. You're welcome. So first off, I mark out where the diamonds need to go. So I use my my dividers with an oval setting. It's quite tricky to plot out exactly where the diamonds need to sit, especially I didn't make this oval setting. It was made by someone else, probably mass produced, I don't know. So I just gauge it roughly and plot out the points where I think the diamond should sit, and after I've plotted out the diamonds, I will then draw the holes, and then from there I may adjust, and in this case I adjust the placement of the stones ever so slightly, just so that aesthetically it looked a bit better. So now we have the diamonds all set. It's time for the final polish. So what you need to do in a case like this is sand everything down, right down. You work yourself through all the grids of sandpaper. I go up to a 5,000 grid, so it's basically polished with sandpaper. And the reason behind that is, so when you go to the polisher, you don't have to apply heaps amount of pressure to actually get the ring to shine. It's fairly straightforward, and it's light pressure to actually bring the gloss out on the ring. or bring the gloss out in the gold. And once that is done, it's time to set the opal. And you may notice that I've actually burnished the outside of the opal's bezel to get a nice curve, because I initially thought I would actually set the opal, but after noticing all those fracture lines, I realized why the person who originally made the earrings just glued them in. So I mixed a special kind of a 2-compound glue, a jeweler's glue. Then I filled up the cavity and I actually placed the opal in the bezel and allowed it to cure for 48 hours. So I don't have any footage of that, but you'll just have to believe me. And once again, if you would want to see in a future video how that works or how that is done, let me know in the comments and I'll happily oblige. It's very similar to my how to glue pearl earrings video, which I might put up here somewhere. So now that's all done, the ring is complete. And I think it turned out quite well. I like it. It's aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't look like it's an earring stuck on a band. It looks like it was always meant to be a ring with an opal and 6 diamonds. So let me know in the comments what you think. Did you like it? Is opal your stone? Are you not a fan? If you have something else in mind that you'd like to do with your broken chains or broken rings or your lost partners of earrings, still doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. This is one example of what you might be able to do. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to message me. I read all my comments and I try to respond to most of them. If not all, I'm happy to give you advice where I can. And like I've said before in my previous videos, I've been in the industry for close to 30 years, so I have a bit of experience and I'm happy to help. And free of charge, no obligation, hit me up, ask me anything. My name is Jan and I'm the Chunky Jeweler. Don't forget to click on the links in the description if you want to email me, message me, talk to me personally. I'm even available for Zoom calls, happy to oblige. And don't forget to check out our website, The Chunky Jeweler, or Grieve Diamond Jeweler, or Studio 7. All the links are in the description down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was another fun project that I had to do. And yeah, the only thing left to do now is to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Like this video if you like this video. And comment, share, do all those lovely things. Doesn't cost anything, but it helps me out a lot. I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching the video. We'll catch you on the next one. Chunky Jeweler out.